Cottage, where I've just seen a very good victory there for Chelsea. 1-0 victors over 10-man Fulham tonight. A very, very crucial win there for Frank Lampard's men tonight. We'll try and bring you some interviews and views from that game during our half-time sequence a little later, because tonight we're going to concentrate now for the first sort of hour of the show on tonight's big match, the first half of tonight's big match between Leicester City and Southampton, live from the King Power Stadium, and no doubt full of his lasagna, and I'm utterly jealous of that, is our commentator Russ Burnham, RV, to his mates and to everyone here. He's waiting to talk to us here at the King Power Stadium, and let's cross over between now for some team news. Did you enjoy that lasagna, Russ?
I did, thank you, JB. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the King Power Stadium. Team news for you then. Leicester make 2 changes from last weekend's team, which won in the FA Cup, should I say, where Stoke, which sees Jose Perez and Dennis Pryor miss out, with the returning duo of Jamie Vardy and James Maddison back into the side, so Leicester revert to their Premier League side. As for Southampton, their last outing was on the 4th of January after their FA Cup tie was postponed until this coming Tuesday due to COVID in the Shrewsbury camp, so they have made 3 changes to that side. Algo, Foster, Ings and Gineppo. Ings has tested positive for COVID. In comes McCarthy, Adams and Smallbone. There's a few youngsters on the bench for Southampton as well. I'll tell you about those once we come back for kick-off. But that's the headline team news for you here at the King Power Stadium. Stuart Howell is the referee, and I'll give you all the officials nearer to the kick-off time.
Thanks, Russ, and well described, the team news as well. So we've just had a great game here at the Craven Cottage. Fulham, 10-man Fulham, I have to say, were very gallant, but in the end it just wasn't enough really against a Chelsea side who really showed what their fighting spirit was all about, and Mason Mount grabbing the Man of the Match award. So we're going to be crossing over to Leicester. Earlier today there were wins for Brighton and for West Ham over Leeds and Burnley respectively, and I'll be doing a quick little ratings from the Burnley team that afternoon, because I saw the whole match before we went on air a little earlier, and I wasn't impressed, so it might be a bit of a rant a little later on, so don't worry. So yeah, it might be a little X-rated, but also a very good win in the game that we were supposed to be doing earlier today, but we lost the live feed for that, and we lost the technical problems, hence why we covered Fulham. You may have seen a great game between Wolves and West Brom. Big Sam Allardyce, is he working the oracles at the Hawthorns? Well, he's brought Robert Snodgrass in. It made a difference. 2 penalty goals, and Wolves beaten 3-2, and they're having a poor season by their standards. You look at the squad on paper, and it's practically the same squad without Jota and Doherty, but still should be performing an awful lot better than 14th position, in my opinion, in the table. And just a little date in your diary as well. Tomorrow afternoon at 4:20, in case you need reminding, nice little kickabout with Trevor as he covers that little well-known kickabout for the leadership of the Premier League between Liverpool and Manchester United. Nice little kickabout there for Trevor to describe, and I've just been speaking to him now off the air, and he's almost ready with his prep. Of course, just keep your comments flowing in, of course. Keep your comments, of course, clean and respectable. The King Power Stadium, just looking at the scenes there now on my monitor. The referees are just about to come out in time for the first half. We will be crossing over to Ross very shortly. But it's a shame really that we haven't got the fans here, because of the COVID. No Danny Ings, that's a blow for Southampton, testing positive for COVID-19. A little bit of news from Burnley as well while we're on the subject of COVID-19. The new chairman, the new owner of Burnley, Alan Pace, actually has tested positive for coronavirus, and is now self-isolating at his house nearby in the Ribble Valley area. Just a little bit of housekeeping there for Burnley, who's also been suitoring John Joe Kenny in the transfer market. I'm sure we'll hear a bit more about that in the coming days and weeks. But the King Power Stadium looks a picture. It's sad that we haven't got any fans for this, because it would have been a great night for the guys, for the fans there. But well, the Southampton players are just about to come out into the tunnel. Once the Leicester players come out, we'll hand over to Russ. There's our referee, Paul Tierney. Not Paul Tierney, sorry. Paul Tierney is the referee for tomorrow's match, and a big one for him as well. But it's a real disappointment for Ralph Husenhuzel because he can't obviously select his best strikers, and obviously with the social distancing guidelines and everything, Kasper Schmeichel leading out Leicester as they come out to the trumpets at the King Power Stadium. And on that cue and on that bombshell, I'm going to hand over to Russ. You'll hear from me at half time as I round up the fallout from here and the fallout from the game at London Stadium. Well, let's get over, well in time for kick-off, and to Russ, who is going to bring you all the team news and first half commentary. Over to you, Russ.
Thank you, JB. Good evening, everyone, once again, and welcome to the King Power Stadium. Leicester line up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Southampton line up in a 4-4-2 formation as we just get ready for kick-off. So Leicester City line up with Schmeichel in goal, Castagna, Fofana, Evans and Justin in the back, and Ndidi, Tielemans in midfield, Albrighton, Maddison and Barnes behind Jamie Vardy. On the bench is Ward, Soyuncu, Iheanacho, Perez, Under, Ricardo, Mendy, Thomas and Amate. As for Southampton, it's McCarthy in goal, Walker-Peters, Bednarak, Stevens, Bertrand, Diallo, Ward-Prowse are the central two, with Armstrong and Smallbone on either side of those. And then leading the line is Theo Walcott alongside Cherhams. On the bench, Forster, Long, Valerie, Vokins and Ludu. And then youngsters Will Perry, Alan Chichapet, Caleb Watts and Kegs Churak. The referee is Stuart Atwell. He is assisted by Aaron Leonard and Eddie Smart. Rob Jones, the fourth official, is the fourth official this evening. John Moss is the VAR man. He's assisted by Andy Alladay at the King Power Stadium. Jamie Vardy looking for his 14th goal in his 19th appearance in all competitions this season. So we're looking to see. Well, he goes there. That includes the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup and the Europa League performance games as well for those appearances and goals for the Leicester striker. Same with every player I've got written down here. So the players have just taken a knee at the King Power Stadium. Ralph Husenhuzel down on the knee as well. Stuart Atwell's ready, the players are ready, and we're off and underway with Southampton kicking off all in white today, taking the goal to my left. Leicester all in blue, their traditional all in blue, and we're looking forward to this game. At the King Power Stadium, it's Leicester City versus Southampton this evening. As a ball's forward by Southampton, and indeed it picks up possession for Albrighton, who knocks the ball forward looking for Jamie Vardy for an early chance. Alex McCarthy comes out and heads the ball clear, and then he's helped out by Stevens, who's playing the left centre back this evening. He knocks the ball out of play for a throw to Leicester City. Castagna is throwing the ball down the line. He needs to flick the ball on field, and that's sees an offside flag up there against Jamie Vardy, but I'm not sure if it was an offside decision call there. We'll keep you up to date with the evening's championship game as well as and when we can, as Barnsley taking on Swansea City in the championship this evening. I'll bring you up to date with that as and when I can this evening, as we are at the King Power Stadium. As indeed wins possession off of Walcott and then feeds Harvey Barnes for James Justin, who puts the ball forward looking for Jamie Vardy to chase. Alex McCarthy out of his goal, gets there first, clears it downfield up towards halfway. Evans wins the header, and there is Diallo who fetches it down, but then the ball's lit up into the air by Indeed, now he's picked up by Smallbone, making his third appearance of the campaign in all competitions at Tasters. Evans is across there to get the ball forward, and Madison controls well, but then he loses out to Stevens, who's done really well there. Now Diallo out wide, where is Armstrong, who plays the ball in towards the penalty area. Not found a man then. He's gone out to play for a throw to Leicester, which Timothy Castagna will take. It was crossed by Smallbone, incidentally, who couldn't pick out Armstrong, who's now on possession over on this near side of the left. Leicester 0, Southampton 0, opening 2.5 minutes of this game at the King Power Stadium. Great coverage by JB from Craven Cottage just a short time ago, where Fulham, 10-man Fulham, were narrowly beaten by a goal to 0 by Chelsea in the Premier League this evening. This is Leicester coming forward, doing a bit of defending, should I say, Walker-Peters came forward, but now Leicester coming forward with Albrighton. Can't take it away from Bertrand, and Bertrand wins Albrighton won the throw, but the referee gave it to Southampton as Diallo will collect for Prowse. Now Stevens across to Ben Narak, and now it's out wide there to Walker-Peters. Kyle Walker-Peters coming forward for Southampton, making his way forward. Here's Kyle Walker-Peters making his 19th appearance of the campaign. Now he's across to Ryan Bertrand, who makes his 18th. James Ward-Prowse, 19th appearance of the season for him in all competitions with 4 goals to his name. And he has been instrumental to Southampton this season, done really well for them. But it is 4 minutes on the clock and he's still goalless as Adam McArthur-Clemens finds Walcott and now Smallbone. And now he feeds out wide to Walker-Peters coming forward on the edge of the penalty area. Goes back to Ward-Prowse. Now Smallbone puts the ball into Smallbone, headed away by Evans. And now Ndidi does well to win the backline header twice there. And now he gets the ball forward, only as far as Ward-Prowse though. And now Walker-Peters back to Ward-Prowse. And further back it goes to Ben Narak and across to Stevens. And Stevens puts the ball forward and he runs ominously out of play for a goal kick to Leicester City here at the King Power Stadium. It should be an enthralling game today. Leicester look to build on their performances last week. They've won 29. There's been 29 wins for Leicester, 34 wins for Southampton. The others are over 28 or draws. Stuart how well one of his how well as assistants. I think that might be Eddie Smart to get a bit of technical adjustments with the earpiece so you can hear the match official today. So we've players been stopped for the moment, but it's now back off and underway. 6 minutes on the clock, still goalless. If you've just joined us, as Justin takes a throw into Ndidi. Lovely turn from Ndidi. Now Harvey Barnes on the run for Leicester City. What can Harvey Barnes do here now? Gave the ball away, and now Theo Walcott has got Adams away, has he? Fofana's by there doing some excellent defending, and Fofana was absolutely fantastic to get the ball to Evans, who now finds Tillemans. Now James Justin, who nutmegs Ward-Prowse, but Ward-Prowse gets it back. And now it's down the line for Smallbone and Armstrong, and now Walcott, and Walcott wins the corner for Southampton. First corner of the game. Southampton won 2-1 in the corresponding fixture last January, which was the last meeting between the two sides. Stuart Armstrong levelled for Southampton after Dennis Pratt. But Ralph Arsenal to side in the lead. Danny Ings scored a late goal. That was back in the Premier League, and it was on the 11th of January, so we're only 5 days later than what last year's meeting between these two sides, our Licking Power, did then. And Ward-Prowse will take this corner. The ball is hitting there, but James Justin gets there to away, and and Leicester will try and break, but Southampton do some good defending to see back to Bertrand, who puts the ball in towards a penalty area, comes off the head of Justin. Ward-Prowse is closing down Barnes, who managed to get away. All as far as Walker Peters, who knocks the ball forward, and that's out of play for a throw to Leicester off of Shea Adams, and off of Smallbone, who tried to help out Adams there. And Southampton doing very well at this moment in time. Still goalless here at the King Powers. Schmeichel hits the ball out wide. Timothy Castagna chests it down, and the ball is given away to Stevens. Now McCarthy does well. Alex McCarthy will kick the ball out wide to Walker Peters. Down the line it goes, and there's a free kick for about Harvey Barnes on Walker Peters, and Harvey Barnes making his 24th appearance of the season, 9 goals to his name this campaign. The English midfielder. Stevens has to go back to McCarthy. Now Diallo to Smallbone, into Ward-Prowse. Now Diallo again, and back to Bertrand, who has to go back to McCarthy, who takes one clearance, one touch to clear the ball. Didn't even take a touch, just whacked through it incidentally, and then there's a foul there by Diallo on Tillemans. No, it was on Fofana actually. It looked like it was Tillemans, but Fofana, so far forward. He's clipped after all. Barton's little flick round the corner by Diallo there. And Wesley Fofana making his 90th appearance to score his first Premier League goal. And what a time it would be if he gets it here tonight. Goalless at this moment in time. 10 minutes, pushing the 10th minute mark. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. As this ball is in from Madison. And McCarthy comes well and decides to punch clear, and he does. And Fofana knocks it all the way back to Justin. Knocks it back to Schmeichel, and let's regroup at the back with Kasper Schmeichel, who kicks long like a rugby style kick, that straight out of play for a thumb. Wonderful free kick there, and that's a fantastic punch by Alex McCarthy. Made sure he got his connection right and the clearance to perfection as well. It's still goalless at the King Power Stadium as Leicester will look to defend as Fofana knocks it back to Kasper Schmeichel, who takes a touch and finds Castagna. Back he goes to Fofana. And Southampton do really well to wrestle the ball cleanly off of Harvey Barnes, and now they will have it with Walker Peters up against Harvey Barnes, who did well to make amends for his error in being dispossessed of the possession. And the Southampton defence can regroup as they've got Kasper 400 is the sign. I'm not sure if that means he's played 400 appearances over in his career, so today it's a bit of riff, so congratulations to Leicester goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. Still goalless here at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 0, Southampton 0 is the scoreline. If you've just joined us here on JB Sports. Castagna for Fafana to Evans. Leicester trying to build from the back as Evans knocks it back to goalkeeper and captain Kasper Schmeichel. Danish goalkeeper, 23rd appearance of the campaign this season for Kasper Schmeichel. And Leicester will try and come forward, but they've run out of pitch there and concedes a throw, which Walker Peters has taken quickly, and he's got it back from Armstrong, and he goes down under a challenge from Justin. The referee is giving a free kick. 13 minutes gone here, still Leicester 0, Southampton 0. As it's just coming up towards the 28th minute of the game between Barnsley and Swansea, that's still goalless. For no one interested in how that game's going on, I've just had a little quick look, see how that game was going on. As here's Bertrand coming forward for Southampton, now Walcott back to goal and back to Stevens, and now Ben Nurak back to Stevens, and back he goes to McCarthy, who kicks long downfield. Alex McCarthy gets some distance on that, but not any conviction on that clearance. And now Diallo, who's out to Harvey Barnes, and now was away back towards Barnes, but he's giving possession away to Walker Peters. Barnes, I don't think he read that situation, is now Ward Prowse Fizzy Armstrong back to Walker Peters, who's been dispossessed fairly then. Albrighton nips in. Now Tillemans forward towards Madison, cut out, and Leicester concede possession. And now Theo Walker cutting George Ford. He's blocked off there, is he, by Fafana. Wasn't Leicester booking for Leicester play? Could even be Ndidi. We've noticed Fafana, who picks up the first yellow card of this game, and Wesley Fafana goes into the referee's notebook. The first one of the evening, 15 minutes on the clock. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. And Stevens can't pick out a ball forward. Justin cuts the ball out, and now Leicester can bear with Castagna to Fafana. Now Fafana's clearance, it's the head of Armstrong, who deflects out for a throws. We see Vardy on the screen. He's got 18 goals, 18 starts and 13 goals in all competition this season. He's got 11 league goals this season, and 2 of those have come here at the King Power. The other 9 have come away from home for Jamie Vardy's. Now Madison is clipped by Smallbone, and Leicester will have a free kick. Under and Ricardo Pereira were both on the bench for Leicester, back after long-term injuries, while Vardy and Madison return after minor injuries. Barnes picks up far side into Evans. Now Tillemans and Eagles possession away. Now Southampton will look to break, and Chadham's just beating the offside trap as a yes. Walker looking to gain support for him. Chadham's still going. Chadham's cuts the ball back, and it's said by Schmeichel behind for the corner. And that run from Chadham's there needed a little bit of conviction and a bit more power. And that probably could have beaten Kasper Schmeichel through his legs, but he tried chipping it back towards Smallbone there. If you look from this angle, he tries to chip it back to Walcott and Smallbone coming in, but he wins the corner for Southampton. Ward-Prowse will take. Benirac and Stevens is up there as well. And he's in towards Stevens. Headed clear by Fofana. Back to Ward-Prowse. And lovely ball in from Walker Peters, I think that was. Now Walker Peters looks to put the ball forward. And he's out of play for a goal kick to Leicester City. Leicester 0, Southampton 0, here at the King Power Stadium. Still goalless between Leicester and Southampton. Kasper Schmeichel picks up possession and knocks the ball forward, looking for Castagna, but the ball is poorly kicked by the Leicester goalkeeper. Then the captain, Danish international, is Kasper Schmeichel, spells at Leeds United, amongst other clubs as well. 40% possession for Leicester, 60% possession for Southampton this opening 18.5 minutes. Still goalless. And now Tillemans for Old Brighton looks to pick out Jamie Vardy, and the ball's headed by Benirac into the path of Alex McArthur, the former Leeds United loanee. So two ex-Leeds goalkeepers out on this field of play. So now it's Old Brighton's inside the penalty. Cross for Barnes, who struck it well and saved palmed away by Alex McCarthy. Tried working out who the player was. Saw Vardy leave it, and I will look and see who he was coming running in. It was Harvey Barnes who came running in to fire a shot towards goal, which saw McCarthy palm it clear. But now Madison to Justin, who concedes a throw. Still goalless here at the King Power, 0-0. And Southampton win possession back and now can come away, can they? Cherms wins the ball well off Fofana. Fofana's left in the heap as that ball's played from Cherms to Theo Walcott, who's on the run, closely back towards Armstrong, and Evans gets there well, and then Didi now can come forward for Leicester. And Walker Peters will come forward now for Southampton. End-to-end stuff here now. Armstrong for Smallbone inside the penalty area. Smallbone back to goal and back to Bertrand. Ward-Prowse, Diallo, and the Diallo's ball into the penalty area is over it. And behind for a corner. Behind for a goal kick, should I say. Still goalless, Leicester 0, Southampton 0. Here's the scoreline. Here at the King Power Stadium, Leicester 0, Southampton 0. Is the score as Kasper Schmeichel will play the ball to Wesley Fofana, and Fofana will look forward. Well, they know he plays inside for Tillemans, who will now look up and indeed him back to Tillemans, who comes running forward and looks to play love the ball out wide. And he has played a love the ball out wide for Justin. Down the line is Harvey Barnes. Barnes back into Justin towards the penalty area, cleared away looking for, as Old Brighton was coming in, and so was Castagna. Vardy was in there as well, and Tillemans was a bit too much, but Castagna does well to keep the ball in, but then goes down. No foul though, as Smallbone can fetch the ball away for Southampton. Now Armstrong. Good run from Armstrong across to Walker Peters. Walker Peters, edge of the penalty area, tackled by Justin. And now Albrighton. Can't pick out Justin. But that's headed back by Ben Nurak there brilliantly to pick out Jamie Vardy. Still goalless. At the King Power, 22 minutes gone. If you've just joined us, where have you been? JB Boy, some brilliant commentary earlier on between Fulham and Chelsea. Brilliant commentary tonight between Leicester and Southampton. Still goalless though here at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 0. Southampton 0 is a scoreline. And now Southampton come forward. He's walked towards Chadams into the penalty area. Chadams shoots, saved by Kasper Schmeichel behind for a corner. And Leicester look to get punished there. They didn't clear the lines well and almost got caught out. Couldn't play well, and then Chadams into the penalty area, shot towards goal, pushed behind by Kasper Schmeichel, and that was a fantastic save. Better shot as well from the Southampton player, Chadams, the striker, the England international striker. 17 appearances and 4 goals for him this season in all competitions. As Ward-Prowse over this free kick corner towards a penalty area, headed away, and Armstrong knocks it back to Lello, and now Bertrand, who will look up, looking to pick out Ward-Prowse over on that far side, who pushing the back of Justin there, and the referee notices that, but they saw the ball go out of play, so he gave a goal kick instead, which in my opinion was good refereeing. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. England boss Gareth Southgate watching on here tonight. Leicester 0, Southampton 0 is the scoreline between these two Premier League teams, as Castagna comes forward and knocks the ball forward, and he's control well as Smallbone. Lovely footwork as Walcott can't pick out Armstrong, who was over on that far side. Smallbone and Armstrong keep swapping round, but they are playing quite well. Or Southampton, 25 minutes gone, still goals. Leicester playing well also, and as Leicester who's got possession now with Castagna back into Fofana, and now Evans across to Justin, Ndidi, Tillemans, Evans from Ndidi's pass, and now Fofana balling to Maddison for Castagna. Timothy Castagna gets down the outside, crossed in, back to Maddison. Now Albrighton, Fofana, Albrighton, Castagna, and now Bertrand does really well, and as does Diallo, to get back and defend well, and the ball is forward, and he's gone out of play for a throw to Leicester City. No, Castagna will take. 26 minutes gone on the game live. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. And now Albrighton puts the ball in towards the penalty area, and that's headed clear by Ward-Prowse, who didn't know the flag was up there for offside against Mark Albrighton. Just been told in my earpiece coming towards half time in the game between Barnsley and Swansea, and he's still goalless at Oakwell in the Championship this evening. Watch the highlights there later on Quest tonight. But stay with us before you go and watch any football highlights this evening. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. Here's the scoreline here at the King Power Stadium. Is the ball is headed backwards by Vardy, couldn't find Maddison, and now Vardy closing down Alex McCarthy, and now Maddison closing down Stevens and Diallo, and now Castagna for Fafana. Diallo puts the ball over the top for Walcott. He's out for Adams, back on forward Walcott, who's onside Theo Walcott, couldn't go on the end of that. Smallbone wins the header. Diallo wins his header. Indeed, he gets his foot in there to get the ball back for Leicester and try and calm things a bit down for Leicester's. Albrighton with Castagna does a brilliant link-up play. And now Castagna comes forward over the head of Barnes, who gets it back. And now Maddison turn away from his man. So again, James Maddison fires over the bar. And Leicester City should have scored, or really should have troubled Alex McCarthy there. But so far, it is 0-0, and neither keeper have had anything really to make a save, or neither team have had anything really to write home about. At the King Power Stadium, still goalless. If you've just joined us on this Saturday evening, cold Saturday evening in the Midlands. I'm set up here in the commentary box in my coat, my scarf, even got some gloves on as well. But it's still goalless though, and on my way drive through there weren't that much snow about. There's not been that much snow about here today actually either, but could be forecasted snow later when for the drive back home. As Leicester City 0, Southampton 0 is the scoreline. And now Justin has possession for Leicester. Back to here at the King Power, and what's happening right now is Evans just brilliantly to get away from Walcott, then feeds in Justin. And Dede now has possession. Tillemans. Wesley Fafana. Now Castagna. Fafana again. Still goalless. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. And the ball's over the top, and Shellams is almost in, but Schmeichel comes out and does really, really well to block and make a clearance and stop Shellams getting in behind him there. And Leicester caught out again. Onside it was Shellams, and I must say if Schmeichel had to head that or time that correctly, then Leicester would be in real trouble. Especially if they didn't do it correctly, because it would have been sent off there, the goalkeeper. Barnes stays away from his man, and now Maddison. Maddison is far from behind by Diallo, the French international. Ibrahim Diallo, 8th. Prior to tonight, he played 8 games, scoring on. This is his 9th game tonight. Southampton 0, Leicester 0. Leicester with a free kick. Fafana. Back to Evans. And I'm hearing from Oakwell that Swansea have taken the league through Cabango's header just before half time. Balls know Swansea 1 is the latest in the Championship. That's just come through to us while we're commentating at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. And now Ben Nurak will come forward. And Walcott to the yellow out wide now to Smallbone. And Smallbone comes forward. Lovely one from Smallbone. What can he do here now? Diallo, Smallbone, Armstrong, and he's shepherded out brilliantly by Wesley Fofana, who's on a yellow card already. That's going into the book. At this moment in time, it's Wesley Fofana just steps across and looks like he's draw with couldn't go in there then, and we'll be looking forward to I'll be hopefully bringing some we'll bring some more FA Cup commentaries next weekend in the Emirates FA Cup 4th round weekend, depending on the commitments of myself, JB, Trevor and Mike Orneman, as well as Harvey Barnes. For Bardi, now now Justin, indeed, now Tillemans, Evans to Fofana. Still goalless here. Swans are leading by a goal to no just before half time now. The half time whistle was going to Oakwell there. We are told by a director in my ear. Leicester 0, Southampton 0 is a game we're covering though. We're here at the King Power Stadium. We'll bring you up to date with all the other scores in the Premier League later on. JB will have some reaction from the King Power and hopefully some reaction from the London Stadium. Leicester 0, Southampton 0 is the scoreline, and I'm not going to say what I was going to say in case I tempt fate about me being in the comms box so far this season. Leicester 0, Southampton 0. To Finley Edmonds are hopefully doing okay, and to Steve Achimpong, doing okay mate, doing okay guys. Thank you very much for tuning into this live commentary from the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 0, Southampton 0 in the Premier League. And now Southampton look to come forward with Walcott, and Fofana does really well to block Walcott's cross, and Leicester concede a throw-in, which Bertrand will commentate for Southampton near their own near Leicester's penalty area, so Leicester's territory, and he takes it and gets it back from Smallbone. Now he knocks it to James Ward-Prowse, and Ward-Prowse will knock it back to Stevens across to Ben Nurak, and Leicester City almost getting caught in behind there as Leicester see a ball from Southampton trying to pick out Smallbone from Ben Nurak, went out of play for a throw to the Foxes. Leicester 0, Southampton 0 is your scoreline if you're just tuned in to us. Thank you very much for joining. Coming up towards the 36th minute of the game, so the final, well into the final 5 minutes of this, 10 minutes should I say of this game, 9 minutes left to play. Leicester 0, Southampton 0, and that ball is knocked down the line by Castagne for Alberto, flicked it on, look for Castagne to game behind, but then Southampton are doing well to cut out, and the other there's no way he's not being given a free kick there, but Leicester now on the break as Albrighton gets in behind. Puts the ball in towards Vardy. Miss kick from Jamie Vardy. Not like him to miss a chance there of Jamie Vardy. the Leicester striker. 13 goals in 18 appearances prior to this from the English striker, as a ball is knocked in by Albrighton. Cleared away, Albrighton collects once again for Leicester City. And the ball's in towards James Maddison, who's going behind Stevens, and James Maddison has scored! How is James Maddison going in from there? But what a goal from James Maddison. And the deadlock is broken. And Leicester City lead by 1-0. And how did James Maddison get that goal, get that effort in from there, should I say? But just watch this. He's picked up here by Albrighton, knocked into Tillerman, who plays into Maddison, and how does he manage to squeeze the ball in there? A good phrase offside, not interfering with play, but how does James Maddison get the ball in from that tightest angle? It's got away from Stevens, and James Maddison on the 38th minute has given Leicester City a 1-goal lead here at the King Power Stadium. And I'll say what I was going to say now. Every game I've commented on, there have been a goal in this game. I didn't want to say it until we had a goal, but every single game I've done this season so far, we've seen a goal, and on 38 minutes we've seen one tonight through James Maddison. And Leicester have just won a free kick for an handball by Che Adams down in this corner, down in the corner, right corner of the game, of the area, should I say, for Leicester's point of view. Leicester are leading by 1-0. At the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 0, Leicester City 1, Southampton 0 if you've just joined us. Coming up towards the final 5 minutes of the first half. And ball is forward, and Albrighton's going behind it, and Albrighton's with the ball, love the ball in, but no one was there. And McCarthy can claim quite convincingly in the end for Southampton, and he will look to come away with the yellow. And now Southampton need the ball forward. For Farner knocks the ball forward, and now Smallbone will come away with possession. Armstrong to the yellow, and he goes behind Smallbone, but he just managed to retrieve it and keep the attack alive. But for not very long, as they've been forced all the way back to Stevens, and now Benduak in Southampton will look to charge forward again, and Benduak puts up love the ball in towards Bertrand, who heads it back across goal, but he's behind everybody, and apart from Albrighton, who manages to hook the ball clear, and now Ward-Prowse will try and fetch Southampton forward once again, and as he plays the ball into Stevens. Leicester 1, Southampton 0. The scoreline as the ball is flicked on there. Che Adams, and now he's got Bertrand through and behind. Right, Bertrand! Send back as Schmeichel over the bar for a corner to the Saints, and Southampton almost level. Shortly after, and Leicester City almost going behind. Then Leicester City goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel has been forced into a fantastic stop to deny Ryan Bertrand. His last shot was looking to go in, and it was a ferocious effort from Ryan Bertrand. Ward-Prowse to take the corner into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Castagna wins the header, and again Walcott balling towards a penalty, and he's into where none of his teammates was, and Schmeichel could claim quite comfortably and say, thank you very much. I'll take control here and we'll take possession back. And now he's thrown the ball out, and Leicester will look to try and move forward. As for Fafana, as it on this near side, the right, and now Castagna. There's Brighton for Madison. And now Harvey Barnes. And what can Harvey Barnes do for Leicester City? Leicester City coming forward. Harvey Barnes! Just wide! The Leicester winger cutting inside after being released. And then curling an effort just wide of the post. Leicester 1. Southampton 0 is the score as we see the indeed push back on Diallo, kept going, and then we see James Anderson's goal again. How did he manage to get that in from that angle? I would never know. He pushes his teammates away to celebrate on his own because of the new rules are in place to stop the spread of the COVID-19. As Southampton trail by a goal to 0, conceding a free kick for a foul on Old Brighton. And that is a booking there for Diallo. I think he was booked. Yes, he was. The number 27 for Southampton. He's now on a yellow card. Still 1-0 to Leicester. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 is the scoreline. And Old Brighton and Madison over the free kick, and it was Madison who put the ball in, looking for Fafana to back across scoring, and was claimed by McCarthy. And closing towards the final minute of the first half. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 is the scoreline. Here on JB Sports, Leicester leading by a goal to 0. Thanks to James Madison's 7th of the campaign. And there's another card coming out now, and it's a yellow one. And it goes the way of Mark Albrighton for a foul on Bertrand. And that's the third player to be booked tonight, second Leicester player to be booked. And it was a free kick. And it was a foul. As we enter stoppage time at the end of this first half, where there'll be a minimum of 2 minutes at a time. I may stress minimum of, so you could play more, could play less, but only a minimum of 2 minutes can be allowed to be added. Can be more. And Leicester win a free kick for a foul by James Ward-Prowse, who's not really going to this game. Biggest part of the commentary, first part of the commentary was bigging him up, saying how well he's done this season so far for Leicester. No, Leicester, for Southampton, I say, with 4 goals and 4 assists in 18 matches in all competitions this season, but nothing to be shout about tonight so far. The King Powers, Cash Bushmichael kicks the free kick forward for the Foxes, and now indeed he wins the header from Madison and Vardy to try and battle and to try and keep hold of. And Leicester have it with Justin. Down the line it goes. Madison gets the ball forward, and Harvey Barnes is in behind it, and Harvey Barnes puts the ball back just behind Jamie Vardy. Comes into Ndidi, who fires over the ball. And Wilfred Ndidi looking for his first goal of the campaign. in any competition. And Leicester and Southampton will likely to be going in with Leicester leading by a goal to nil at half time. And that is what we do. Played 7 minutes over the allotted 2 minutes at a time, but at the break, at half time, Leicester City leading by a goal to nil. A strike from James Maddison with his 7th of the campaign in the 38th minute. I'm wondering how he managed to get in from there. Gives Leicester the lead of the break. Southampton have caused a few problems of their own, but can't really, and then forced Michael into a few saves. But Leicester have got the breakthrough, and they're the ones that are going into the half-time interval in a lead of a 1-0 here at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 at the break.
Thanks, Russ, and welcome back to Fulham, where we're hoping to get one or two reactions from one or two of the main people involved. But just let's run you through. In fact, let's in fact run you through all the full-time results all around the country, because there's quite a number of full-times that we need to get through as well. There's been some championship games played, so we're going to use the next 15 minutes to round up all the scores and fixtures around the country. So let's go through it all then for you. England, Scotland, Wales, got Welsh as well, Highland League. No Northern Ireland today, they're all postponed. No Irish Premiership, so we'll try and bring you all the results that we can from around the country. Right, let's start, of course, with the Premier League. It finished right. Let's start with the Premier League. Wolves 2, West Brom 3, Leeds United 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, West Ham 1, Burnley 0, Fulham 1, Chelsea 0, and Leicester City leading Southampton, as you know, by a goal to nil at half time. We're going to the Championship now. Middlesbrough 0, Birmingham City 1, Blackburn 1, Stoke City 1, Bournemouth 0, Luton Town 1, Bristol City 2, Preston North End 0, Cardiff City 1, Norwich City 2. Coventry against Sheffield Wednesday, that's been postponed. Derby County 0, Rotherham United 1, Nottingham Forest 3, Millwall 1. Queen's Park Rangers against Wycombe Wanderers, that's match postponed. Watford 2, Huddersfield Town 0. And currently Barnsley 0, Swansea City 0, that's a half-time score. Into the League One now. AFC Wimbledon 0, Sunderland 3, Accrington Stanley 0, Gillingham 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Charlton Athletic 1, Burton Albion 0, Ipswich Town 1, Fleetwood 0, Portsmouth 1, Hull City 1, Blackpool 1. Northampton against Oxford, that's postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Peterborough 3, Milton Keynes Dons 0, Plymouth 1, Crewe 1, Rochdale 3, Wigan Athletic 3. Shrewsbury against Lincoln, that's postponed due to COVID-19. Swindon Town 1, Doncaster Rovers 2. League 2 now. Barrow 1, Scunthorpe 0, Bolton 1, Cheltenham Town 1. Bradford City versus Crawley, that's match postponed again, this time due to the weather. Colchester 1, Cambridge 1, Forest Green Rovers 1, Port Vale 1, Greensby 1-0, Southend 0. Leyton Orient 2, Morecambe 0. Mansfield versus Carlisle, that's match postponed again due to COVID-19. Newport 0, Salford City 0. Stevenage 0, Tranmere Rovers 0. And Walsall 1, Wigan Athletic, Oldham Athletic rather 1. Right, a few cancellations in the National League. 2-2 games, but one was postponed. That was between Maidenhead and Yeovil, again due to COVID-19. But one game did take place. Wrexham 3, Dover 1. National League North, Fylde against Blythe Spartans. That was called off. So too was Alfreton Town against Boston. we'll just move on to those in a second, because everything Telford won, Curzon Ashton won. So in the games between Alverton Town and Boston, Alfreton Town against Hereford, Brackley against Bradford Park Avenue, and Bradford Park Avenue apparently against Chester. Matches postponed due to either COVID or frozen pitches. Chorley 3, Farsley Celtic 2. Darlington against Chorley, match postponed. So too is the match between Kidderminster Harriers and Spennymoor Town. But there was one more game that took place. That's Gateshead 1, Guiseley 0. National League South, Bath City against St Albans. That was postponed. Billericay Town 2, Dulwich Hamlet 0. Dartford 1, Hungerford Town 1. Hampton and Richmond 2, Ebbsfleet United 1. Havant and Waterlooville 1, Eastbourne 2. Hemel Hempstead against Concord Rangers and Maidstone United against Chittenden Town. Both matches postponed. Slough 3, Braintree 2. And the match between Welling United and Townbridge Angels, match postponed as well. So some FA Trophy matches as well. Bath City 0, Peterborough Sports 1. The match between Aberdeen Waterlooville against Altrincham, that's cancelled. Hornchurch 1, Kings Lynn Town 1. Hornchurch winning 3-0 on penalties. Maidstone 2, Dorking Wanderers 1. Oxford City 4, Haringey Borough 2. Stockport County 1, Notts County 2. Sutton United 3, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. And Weymouth 0, Darlington 1. Right, let's go to Scotland then for the Premiership. Celtic 0, Livingston 0. Hamilton Academicals 0, Dundee United 0. Hibernian 2, Kilmarnock 0. Ross County 4, Aberdeen 1. And St Johnstone 1, St Mirren 0. Right, so let's go to the Scottish Championship. Alloa Athletic 1, Hearts 3. The match between Dundee United against Ayr United, that's been postponed due to the weather, a waterlogged pitch to be exact. Queen of the South 2, Arbroath 2. And Rafe Rovers against Inverness Caledonian Thistle, match postponed. No games taking place in Scottish League 1 because the games between Falkirk and Montrose, Clyde against East Fife, Dumbarton versus Forfar Athletic, Partick Thistle against Cove Rangers, and Peterhead against Adrionians, all matches postponed. Same situation in Scottish League 2. The games between Annan Athletic against Garden Beef, Elgin City versus Edinburgh City, Queen's Park against Stranraer, Stenhousemuir versus Albion Rovers, and Stirling Albion against Brecon City. Every match in that league today, I'm afraid, postponed. And same story in the Island League. Finally, the games between Borough Rangers and Nairn County, Bucky Thistle against Turriff United, Clancuddin against Port William, Florentine United against Robs, Fraserburgh against Devon and Vale, I think that's how you pronounce it, Huntley against Innervary Local Works, Keith against Lossiemouth, and Strapsley Thistle against Wick Academy. All those games postponed again due to COVID-19. And the same in the Lowland League. Yep, you guessed it. Berwick Rangers all postponed. So the matches between Berwick and Caledonian Braves, Civil Service Strollers against Fairleigh Leven, Del Beatty Star against University of Stirling, Edinburgh University against Bonnyrigg Rose, Gala Fairy Dean against East Stirlingshire, Gretna 2008 against Cumbernauld Colts, Kelty Hearts against BSC Glasgow, and the Spartans against East Kilbride. All those games, you'll be pleased to hear, are all postponed. And the same story in Wales, because the games between Carnarvon and Aberystwyth, Kevin Druids against Barry Town, Flint Town against the New Saints, and Pennybones against Connors Quay Nomads. Again, all matches postponed. And in the Irish Premiership, no surprise, Ballymena against Crusaders, Carrick Rangers against Glenarvan, Portadown against Dungannon Swiss, Warren Point against Glentoran, and Cliftonville against Larne. Again, all postponed. So now there's a few results from Spain to bring you. Almeria 5, Alaves 0, Deportiva 1, Real Valladolid 2. This is the Copa del Rey. Girona 2, Cadiz 0, Benambana 1, Levante 1 after extra time. Levante winning 4-2 on penalties, and Leganés 0, Sevilla 0. That game now in extra time, and Real Vallecano against Elche kick off in about 2 minutes from now. Quickly, Bundesliga: Cologne 0 to Berlin 0. Borussia Dortmund 1, Mainz 1. Two of Jurgen Klopp's former teams there in action against each other. Werder Bremen 2, Augsburg 0, Hoffenheim 0, Arminia Bielefeld 0, Wolfsburg 2, Red Bull Leipzig 2, and Stuttgart 2, Borussia Mönchengladbach 2. Serie A. 3 games in that one. Bologna 1, Hellas Verona 0, Torino 0, Spezia 0. Currently in play at the moment, 5 minutes into the second half, Sampdoria 0, Udinese 0. That's currently going on right now. 2 games from French League 1, or Ligue 1. Marseille 1, Nîmes 2, and Angers 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. And that's a half-time score. In Australia, it's finished Sydney 1, Western Sydney Warriors FC 1, Melbourne 2, Western United 1. That's in Australia. Belgian First Division, Ostend 2, Kortrijk 1, Royal Exile Mouscron 2, KRC Ghent 0, West Van Beveren 1, FC Zoet Waregem 5, and Charleroi 0, and Mechelen 0. And finally, we'll bring you the Dutch Eredivisie as well. FC MN 1, Vitesse 4, Sparta Rotterdam 3, PSV Eindhoven 5, Utrecht 2, Hercules 0. So no strong hard tactics from Hercules today. PEC Zol 0, Fortuna Sittard 2, and AZ Alkmaar 0, ADO Den Haag 0. And there we go. That's some of the. We'll just bring you a couple of results from Portugal. Pacos de Ferreira 2, Sporting Braga 0, and Tondela against Boavista. That's currently 0-0 with only 26 minutes gone as well. So and there we are. That's most of the results brought up to date. So there we go. We're just waiting for the teams to come out for the second half here. And when we hand over to us, I'm going to record the commentary of the match between. I've got to record my video because it's going to go on for about 15-20 minutes. I've now got to do the marking. Steve Ankapon says hello. How you doing? Well, I'm doing okay despite my beloved Burnley losing. Russ says, I hope you're all doing well and enjoying the commentary from the King Power Stadium. I think the commentary's been good. Just to remind you that Leicester City are winning by a goal to 0 thanks to James Maddison. Southampton with 1 or 2 faces out because of the COVID-19, notably Danny Ings. We're just waiting on the teams to emerge from the tunnel at the King Power, and I think we're going to be heading out there in just a second, I think. That's you all up to date. We'll also give you the league tables as well as soon as we get that as well. It'll be a little bit later on, so don't worry. And just a quick reminder before we hand over to Ross in time for the second half. The big one tomorrow, you know what time it's going to be. 4:20 this tomorrow afternoon, live on JB Sports. Full match commentary, uninterrupted, between Liverpool and Manchester United. The starter for the main course, that'll be the FA Cup next weekend as well. What a game that promises to be as well, by the way. But it's all about the Premier League title race, and will we see Manchester United pull off a shock, or will Liverpool make their Anfield dominance tick? Well, you'll be able to join me in the studio in Lancashire and Trevor at Anfield for the big one tomorrow, live only here on JB Sports. Full match commentary uninterrupted at 4:20 tomorrow afternoon, and then of course Chris's Wavenworth series comes up a bit later on tonight. Right, anyway, without further ado, I think the teams are back out for the second half, so we'll hand back to Russ Burnham in time for the second half. Back to you, Russ.
Thank you, JB. Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome back to the King Power Stadium. The teams just emerging down below me from the tunnel. We're just waiting for the referee and everyone to get ready for kick-off. So we'll be underway very, very soon. Hopefully you're all doing okay and enjoying the commentary. Leicester City leading by a goal to 0 thanks to James Maddison's strike on 38 minutes, which has brought up his 7th goal of the season. Leicester just going out of the tunnel. Southampton already out there. as we are emerging from the tunnel. James Madison, there's some good football in the first half from Leicester, good goal from Madison, but I was trying to work out at half time while I was seeing it again why and how that goal happened and came about from a Southampton point of view, and I still can't work out how they managed to get the ball in. As Jamal Lowe at Oakwell, I'm being told, it's still out Swansea's lead. Swans are leading by 2-0 now at Oakwell in the Championship. Right then, both teams back out on the field. Looks like no changes for either side, and we are almost ready for kick-off at the King Power, and we're back underway at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City attacking, the goal to my left, Southampton the goal to my right is the start of the second half. Leicester leading by a goal to nil. James Justin about to take the throw, which he has done, but he's given away a free kick, and Southampton trailed by a goal to nil. Walker Peters will take the free kick back into Benderack. I'll bring you the team news for the second half in a moment. Schmeichel's in goal for Leicester. Back of Castagna, Fofana, Evans and Justin. Ndidi and Tillman's in front of the back four. Then we've got Albright, Madison and Barnes. I'll break off for in a moment as a shot from there from Smallbone, and he's pushed behind, and he's in behind by Walcott in the finish. Vardy is also up. As for Southampton, we got in goal Walker Peters, Benderack, Stevens and Bertrand. And we just see that Smallbone effort once again. Easy on the left of the midfield, Armstrong on the right, Diallo and Ward-Prowse in the centre. That's a fantastic effort which we've just seen from Smallbone. Right footed, curling towards the top, to bottom left corner. Pushed behind by Schmeichel. Walker and Adams are on the benches. I'll give you that in a moment. As Southampton are on the attack once more as Walker Peters coming forward into Armstrong. And now Smallbone gives the ball away to Albrighton. Now Jamie Vardy. Vardy does well and almost puts Albrighton away. And he has put Albrighton away. Mark Albrighton running out of the defence. Comes behind Tillemans, but Justin is there to pick up the pieces for Tillemans. Albrighton all over the back heel, and a lovely turn, a pace to get in towards the penalty area. Headed away, and Armstrong damages the ball forward. Fofana is there for Leicester. I'll bring the benches in a few moments for both sides, because we have had no changes at the break for either side yet. So, yellow cards for Leicester in that first half, which was Fofana and Albrighton. Diallo with the yellow card for Southampton. Incidentally, if you've only just joined us, 1-0 is the scoreline to Leicester, as we see Soyuncu warming up down below me. As Michael is there, Leicester captain today. Ward-Prowse, Southampton captain. On the bench for Leicester, incidentally, is Ward. Soyuncu, as we've just mentioned, is warming up down below me. Iheanacho, Perez, Under, Ricardo, Mendy, Thomas and Amate. On the bench for Southampton, Foster, Long, Valerie, Wilkins and Ludu, Will Ferry, Alan Chet, Caleb Watts and Kegs Choyok. And it is currently leading by a goal to nil, or Leicester City against Southampton in the Premier League encounter here at the King Power Stadium. And Leicester City are leading by a goal to nil. And Southampton will look to come forward from a throw which Bertrand will take to Diallo, but then Diallo loses out to Madison, who brings him down on Diallo on a yellow card. Will he be sent off here? The Leicester players trying to remind the referee Shurawell has already been booked that first half, and it's like a rugby tackle that, trying to pull him away, trying to pull him down, but he manages to spin away from him, does Madison. no booking there. Madison, Albright and Evans all having a word with the referee to ask him why was there not a second yellow card for Diallo. I think we might see him come off sooner rather than later. As a free kick from Leicester is poor into the penalty area by Madison, and McCarthy will claim quite comfortably. And he throws the ball out for Bertrand and tries to get Southampton moving forward in this Premier League game at the King Power Stadium. Leicester leading by a goal to nil as a ball is forward in towards the penalty area, saved by Kasper Schmeichel as Adams was trying to get in there. And that's a wonderful crossfield pass from Benrek to pick out Bertrand, whose first time cross was poor in the finish, and Southampton now almost could have been back on level terms if that cross had been a bit better. Now they can come forward once again. Adams gets possession away, but Southampton won it back. Diallo was a free kick is being given by Stuart Howell. I'm not sure why I didn't see a free kick in there. I'm not sure if I missed anything. If anyone knows why it was the free kick, do let me know, because we couldn't see from our vantage point, we couldn't see why that free kick was given. But Leicester have a free kick. Fafana has it now from Castagna, and back to Castagna, and down the line it goes. Leicester moving forward. Madison gets possession back, intercepts well, and Madison has been fouled and the ball's in towards Jimmy Vardy. Alex McCarthy punches clear on as far as Ndidi. Ndidi now for Justin, fishes down on his head and takes away from Armstrong into the penalty area. Goes up against his opposite number, Kyle Walker-Peters, and Ndidi intercepts. But his interception was not clean. There was the Leicester man has been penalised for a foul on Ward-Prowse and Armstrong rather. But the Leicester man, Castagna, is limping over on the near side of the right. But we are 52 minutes on the clock. Get your thinking caps on. We're going for another match very, very soon. 52 minutes gone, 1-0 to Leicester. And Wesley Fofana on a booking is being replaced by Kaglar Soyuncu, who will now make his 8th appearance of the game on 53 minutes. And I think that's a wise move from Brendan Rodgers, who doesn't want to see his defender sent off for 2 yellow cards, which would be a catastrophe for Leicester if that were to happen the way Fofana's been playing so far this season. But Soyuncu is more than capable of stepping into his breach and making a good save. So Leicester 1, Southampton 0. As the ball is with Walker-Peters, who comes forward into Ward-Prowse. Diallo is there. Stevens. And Walker-Peters' shot is charged down and is on the control on the chest is Adams. And now Ward-Prowse. Good ball forward. Adams. And Adams knocks the ball out of play for a throw. Get ready for voting for your man of the match. Who would you like to see be giving us the JB MOTM? Get ready to vote. And I'll tell you how to do that very, very soon. And you'll be able to get in touch with us all on your man of the match. We'll love to hear from you this evening here on JB Sports. Live Premier League football from the King Power Stadium. Leicester City versus Southampton. Here's a scoreline. Hopefully we'll bring you some more live football later. We'll be having more live football tomorrow here on JB Sports. Join JB at 4:20 in the presenting chair back at JB Towers in Manchester. And we'll have Trevor all the way at Anfield for us for that big Premier League game. You don't need to tell you which one it is. Liverpool versus Manchester United. 4:30 is the kick-off. Make sure you're here on JB Sports to hear full match commentary from Anfield as two of English big teams go head to head in that game. There's a Southampton man who's down injured over on that far side near the touchline. I'm not sure who it was. It was Castagna who committed the foul on Smallbone, and Smallbone went down and he's in a bit of discomfort here. The Southampton player, his third appearance of the season for Will Smallbone. For some reason they always give us a rickety and rockety chair if you can hear a bit of squeaking in the background. As we are played 10 minutes of, so while there's a break in play due to the Smallbone injury, I can be able to get out to get in touch with your man of the match. Just put the name of the player of your choice, followed by the hashtag JBMOTM, please. Now let you know when that voting is open. We'll be opening for 30 minutes and we'll be opening around about the 60th minute mark. So we'll just see the foul again, and not really much in that. Smallbone goes to blow the shot and his knee clashes with the knee of Castagna, and he's had to be substituted there as Leicester still lead by a goal to nil here at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 is the scoreline. Castagna throws the ball back to Evans, and now Soyuncu, and now James Justin can fetch the ball forward for Leicester City. Into Ndidi, in across now to Johnny Evans, who's moved from left centre back to right centre back, and this ball is not forward and flicked on, looking for the run of Albrighton, but couldn't pick up there. Now Barnes loses out to Walker Peters. Walker Peters looking up as if to say, give me some options to go forward, but he had to go back, and back even further to McCarthy from Benarac, and now Bertrand will have to play the ball back to Stevens, and Stevens will have to try and pick out Walker Peters on this near side, which he has done, and now back with Justin for Leicester, and all the way back to Soyuncu, who's only been on the pitch a few moments. And Leicester City still lead by a goal to nil as they win a throw-in, which is looked to be taken quickly, and it can't be taken quickly as Bertrand fouls his man. Ryan Bertrand, who stopped the throw-in from taking very, very quickly, has just gone into the book, and that he becomes the second Southampton player to be in the book here, and that potentially could be a red card. Already on the floor, trips him over, Albrighton over, and then as he goes to take the throw, should I say, he pushes Albrighton in the face to the ground. He could have had 2 yellow cards in one there, Bertrand, and if he had, he couldn't complain, and it looks as though they was just checking that, but they're happy with that, and is no further punishment. They feel the yellow card by Stuart Howell is the correct one to give, and Leicester conceded a free kick foul on Smallbone. The referee is Stuart Adwell, assisted by Harry Leonard and Eddie Smart. Rob Jones is the fourth official. VAR is John Moss, he's assisted by Andy Halliday, and both John Moss and Andy Halliday didn't think that was worthy of a red card for Ryan Bertrand, and in my opinion he was very, very lucky not to see a second yellow follow, or see the yellow wiped out and given a straight red for a push in the face on Mark Albrighton, as Leicester stole it by a goal to nil here at the King Power Stadium, and small bones down against the Leicester. And Leicester will have to throw it back to Southampton because they have possession, or will they just go to the free kick? Now it's given before Smallbone went down for the play again, and it looks like Smallbone's going to be replaced, and Ludo, who will come on for Smallbone. Smallbone got 61 minutes under his belt tonight, and Smallbone is being replaced, and I think Southampton fans at home will be pleased with how he has performed this evening. Leicester lead by a goal to nil here at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 is the scoreline. Man of the match vote is now open. Name of your player with the hashtag JBMOTM, please, for your vote for man of the match. And we'll be opening it right now, right through to the 90th minute mark. If there is no votes come the 90th minute, then I will be made to choose the man of the match myself, and as Southampton give possession away. Now Madison for Justin, and James Justin for Leicester City. Forward towards over bounds if he can keep the ball in play. He can. It's the ball back in. Vardy's there, but Vardy's head is over the bar, and he couldn't really do much. Vardy edged the ball over the bar. Barnes just scared there. All he could do was try and chip it back in, but he was behind Vardy in the finish. I was stretching behind him, to head it towards the goal with any real conviction. But that's over the bar, and Leicester leading by a goal to nil here at the King Power Stadium is what the score is this evening. Leicester 1, Southampton 0. And now Madison has got away from his man, he's got Vardy up with him, and he's fed in Jamie Vardy. Vardy cuts inside. It's not going to Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy's shot is blocked by Ben Newak, and Ben Newak stood him up well. And now Ward-Prowse trying to clear, but it's blocked by Justin. And Leicester almost with a second goal, then Vardy could have had his 14th goal of the campaign in all competitions, and 12 in the league. And Ben Newak and Stevens was absolutely fantastic. I think it was Stevens actually who made the block, but Ben Newak got back to help him out with the defending. And Leicester almost doubling their lead, and as then Ludo tries to throw the header on, and Ludo is on for his 7th appearance, yet to score a Premier League goal is then Ludo, the striker. Don't forget to get involved with your man of the match, who you think should be winning our supplementary man of the matches. Your chance to get involved with the stream. Let us know what you think of the game and who you would choose for man of the match. I'll see Southampton in the ball forward, but giving away. And Ludo controls well. And Ludo knocks the ball back to Stevens. Well, it was another two-all pass to Stevens, and then to Walker Peters and flicked on there, and that's done really, really well as Che Adams. And now the ball is spread out from Kyle Walker Peters all the way out to this left-hand side where Southampton conceded a throw-in. Here at the King Power Stadium. It's still 2-0 to Swansea Talk while I'm being told in the Championship. 78 minutes on the clock in that one. That kicked off at 7:45, so that will finish just before it was here tonight. As Leicester put the ball into the penalty area, cleared away. Ricardo Pereira on the bench there. I'm not sure if he's going to probably be the next man to come on if Leicester are to make another change to try and defend this 1-goal lead. JB Sports bringing you full match commentary of Leicester City versus Southampton in the Premier League, and a fantastic game so far. Leicester City doing really well. And Leicester City will look to try and get the ball forward. For their game as Leicester concede. Southampton concede a free kick. Lodo comes rushing in, needs up, pushing the back of Soyuncu down to the ground after the ball had gone, and that was a bit silly from the Southampton forward, the English striker. Still to come on for Southampton is Long, Valerie, Vokins, Ferry, Che, Watts and Troyek. As for Leicester, we've got plus also the goalkeeper Forster if he wants to, if it's out one with the goalkeeper McCarthy. If it's on with Schmeichel, Leicester have got Ward on the bench to fetch on for him, and then the outfield players left they've got to fetch on is Iheanacho, Perez, Undor, Ricardo, Mendy, Thomas and Amartey. Vardy fired a shot over the bar a few moments ago. Says we're telling you who they had to fetch on, and Leicester will now come forward again through James Justin, and James Justin will come forward back to Harvey Barnes, and Harvey Barnes will fade in Tillemans back to Barnes, back to goal. Now Justin, left side of the penalty area, far left side, as ball's knocked in, and Vardy's there again from Barnes' centre, and is headed over the bar and behind for a goal kick. Leicester 1, Southampton 0. Here's the scoreline as Castagne just about to shepherd the ball back to Kasper Schmeichel. Southampton almost got in there through Walcott and Armstrong as well. Leicester leading by a goal to 0 against Southampton. as the ball's forward for Vardy. Back into Maddison, the goal scorer. What can Maddison do here now? He's out wide, forward into Albrighton. Albrighton into the penalty area. His cross is charged behind for a corner. He came off. Anyway, there is his behind for the corner. Still one. He's still 1-0 to Leicester. They lead. 4 corners to 1 in Southampton's favour at this moment in time. Leicester's corner is cleared by Southampton. Paul corner in the finish, and now Justin will lead the ball all the way back to Schmeichel, and Leicester will look to get back forward and put pressure on the Southampton defence once more. And Leicester coming forward again, and Vardy's away and behind here. Jamie Vardy inside the penalty. Jamie Vardy's still going. Tries to put the ball in towards Barnes, and McCarthy claims it well, and now Southampton will look to break here. And they'll break a move. Walcott lost out to Ndidi. Now it's forward for Barnes, and he's got Vardy inside of him, and towards Maddison. Comes across, and Maddison is penalised for offside, and therefore against him. That's what the referee is given, I think. Or it could be given for a foul on Bertrand there. I think he put stay offside though, which will be very surprising if so, because I've not really seen that. Shane Long will come on for Southampton with less than 20 minutes to play, and he's replaced Che Adams, who has done well tonight apart from putting the ball in the back of the net. And Leicester are leading by a goal to 0. At the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, Southampton 0. Here's the scoreline as Barnes knocks the ball behind him as Walker Peters picks up into Ludo, and Ludo coming forward for Armstrong. Close inside Armstrong. What's he doing there? Armstrong with the fire and off the bar. Comes back down. He's pushing the back, is it? Come in. Flags up for offside. Because Leicester have got away with one there. Because Armstrong's there to come back off the post. Off the bar, should I say, and then he fell towards, I think it was Shane Long reacting to it. When the shot came in, he was offside, but Long pushed in the bar by Evans. The referee was just about to give a penalty, but then saw the flag up for offside against Shane Long, but Armstrong's effort, a thundering effort, came back off the bar, and if that had gone in, that'd have been a pure genius of a shot. But he didn't go in. And Leicester lead by a goal to 0. Leicester doing a bit of defending now, but both teams still going for the Leicester trying to secure the win. Southampton trying to get back into the game, and Maddison is fouled by Ward-Prowse. The yellow trying to get the ball for quickly for Southampton before the referee noticed anything, but Southampton are less than 15 minutes away from trying to get 16 minutes or so away from trying to get back into this game if they ought to get anything from this game. Every game I do, I always bring you goals, so make sure you tune into some more great commentaries with me on JB Sports or beyond. Some other channels, you just have to find where I am, and one other channels is me on, you'll just have to find how well that channel is. But Leicester coming forward as Albrighton push the ball in towards Vardy. Albrighton gets it back towards Vardy again, comes across for Harvey Barnes off the line, and now Walker can fetch the ball away, and I'm not sure it was who cleared it off the line. I think it might have been Jack Stevens off the line, or it could even be more Prowse, but somehow Leicester City are not 2-0 up in this game. And now Bertrand. I still can't understand how Leicester aren't 2-0 up in this game. Get involved with your JB man of the match if you would like to. Who would you like to see crowned man of the match? Just the name of the player and yourself. The name of the player plus hashtag JBMOTM, please. If you are to give man of the match, if we just see this effort again from Harvey Barnes, and it's Jan Bednarak who clears it off the line. Albrighton got away from Stevens, pulled the ball into the back post. Harvey Barnes effort would look like it was going, maybe going on to the other post to come back out for Vardy to score, but Bednarak recovered absolutely brilliantly to clear the danger. As James Maddison is being substituted for Jose Perez in the 76th minute. And Maddison's goal could have won it. He got inside the penalty area on 38 minutes and fired a shot beyond Alex McCarthy, and still to this moment, even though I've just seen it again now, I still to this moment don't know how he got the shot in from that tightest of angles, but somehow he did, and and due to that fact, Leicester are leading by a goal to nil. Get involved with your man of the match. If no one picks man of the match in this next 13 and a half minutes, should I say, I'll be able to vote for man of the match. And I don't want to pick a man of the match for this evening. Get involved with man of the match this evening, guys. Who would your man of the match be tonight? Get involved with us there, as Leicester still leading by that James Maddison goal to nil, and James Maddison, the goal scorer, has just been replaced by Jose Perez. He was one of the two changes, and Leicester trying to probably see how they win, and Perez can just get the ball and run it into the corner, which they want to do very, very soon, I would imagine, Leicester. But Southampton are coming forward at this moment in time, trying to get back into this game. As Prowse puts the ball in towards the back post, and back into the danger zone, and Tillemans gets the ball forward, looking for Vardy to chase, but Vardy will never give the chase up, as Southampton have possession back, and Albrighton has done well today for me as well. Been a few Leicester players who have done well today, and Southampton players as well, but I don't want to pick a man of the match if I don't have to, but at the moment it looks like I will be, as Southampton trying to get into this as well. Prowse with the effort just goes over the bar and wide, and Ward-Prowse almost getting in to scoring there, as Leicester City almost getting caught out there as well. Prowse almost equalised for Southampton, as Justin will keep all possession, takes away from Walcott, inside to Ndidi, back to Justin, now Sionchu, Kaglar Sionchu into James Justin turns away from his man and comes forward into Ndidi, across now it goes, and Albright Castagna forward, but back instead to Evans as he couldn't find anyone forward. And then the ball is in full from Evans, who knocked down the play by Stevens. It's a throw into Leicester City, deep inside Southampton territory. Southampton trailed by a goal to 0. Leicester lead here. Looking backwards as Jose Perez can't keep the ball in play. But Leicester get it back, and Harvey Barnes on this far side. All the news actually says, I'll look high from this gantry, radio gantry here. Not far from the TV guys here tonight is Evans plays the ball out wide. Now Tielemans. And Tielemans gets the ball back after losing it momentarily. And Schmeichel feeds in Soyuncu. Soyuncu now inside to Tielemans. Tielemans across now to Johnny Evans. And Johnny Evans for Castagna to Albrighton. Who Albrighton is fouled, and Leicester City will look to come forward. Still waiting. Votes are still open for man of the match, guys. If you want to get involved, who would your man of the match be? Just get involved and let us know. Use the hashtag JBMOTM, please, to vote for your man of the match this evening. If you want to vote for man of the match, that is fine. Just let us know who you are choosing this evening, and we'll bring all that information to you once we can, as Leicester City still lead by a goal to 0 with 10 minutes to play. As indeed concedes yet another throws. Southampton look for an equaliser with less than 9 minutes to play. I know indeed he's going back from Walker Peters, and indeed he looks to get Vardy away over the top there of Benrack, and now Bertrand. And the full-time whistle is going to Oak, while I'm hearing we'll get the result of that game any moment now. And it has finished 2-0 to Swansea in the Championship there this evening. Swansea 2-0 winners of Barnsley in the Championship. Leicester City are leading by a goal to 0 here against Southampton on JB Sports as Jose Perez gets away from it. 2 men there. One was Stevens, and he puts the ball in towards Jamie Vardy, who shot is blocked. James Justin can keep the move alive for Leicester City, and Leicester City will look to try and get forward here. As indeed keeps hold of possession. Johnny Evans. Out wide it goes now from Johnny Evans in towards the penalty area. Edge of the box is Perez, and he's going down, but the offside flag is up against Perez. There's nothing given there in terms of a free kick for either side, and this will see Leicester claim a 30th win against Southampton. And it will see Southampton's unbeaten visit to Leicester end if it stays this way. Can Leicester hold on, or will Southampton snatch victory late on from the jaws of defeat? We've seen that plenty of times before. As Southampton in possession with Diallo, and Diallo across to Stevens. Leicester 1, Southampton 0. It's just scoreline. It's lovely way from Southampton to come forward, and they've given possession away, but Leicester have given possession back to them. And Leicester City still leading though by a goal to nil. Final 6 minutes or so to play as Walker Peters puts the ball in. It's towards goal from Nludu and comes back out towards Walcott, and Walcott gives possession away. And Leicester will break here with James Justin over the halfway line for the Foxes. What can James Justin doing now? Ball is played into the penalty to Jamie Vardy. Vardy still in, and Vardy can't score. Deflected wide from Jamie Vardy's effort, and Leicester City almost got a second there, and that would have been a superb goal. Look at this from James Justin running forward, playing in Jamie Vardy, takes it past one defender's shot, and a save from the goalkeeper Alex McCarthy. Takes it past Stevens, who slipped, and then he couldn't score. I couldn't seal victories. Leicester look to do very well here. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 is the scoreline at the King Power Stadium. Johnny Evans is forward for this corner. Jose Perez to take it. Final 4.5 minutes to play. Perez with the corner. McCarthy comes and claims, and McCarthy will look to pull the ball forward, and he has done, looking to pick out Walcott with that kick by the Southampton and England goalkeeper, who was in the start lineup on the last visit here. As Valerie comes on for Southampton in the 86th minute, and it's Diallo who's on that yellow card. Go off, and Leicester City will look to hold on to this lead as Southampton have fetched another defender to try and defend, which is a bit stupid really, when I think they really need to go for it, and I'm not really sure they could fetch on, but Valerie is a defender, and not sure why they've decided to show it up at the back. I couldn't understand if they were leading Southampton, or in the lead Southampton, but they're not, they're trailing, and they fetch a defender on and take off Diallo, who's an attacking midfielder, and it feels like it's a bit strange that we're up towards the final few minutes of the game, and Leicester still lead by a goal to nil. JB's on with man of the match, and he's gone for James Maddison. He's set the standard. Use the hashtag JBMOTM, James Maddison, within the 76th minute. The match looks like to be the match winner. Looks like to be our JBMOTM, man of the match winner as well, as Harvey Barnes with possession for Leicester. Inside for Tillemans. How wide it goes now. And Leicester keeping possession with Johnny Evans. Back to Kasper Schmeichel, and Schmeichel will keep forward for Brendan Rodgers' side, up towards halfway. Brendan Rodgers will be happy with this if Leicester can hold on and claim another victory. As Vardy gets in behind, if can he keep the ball in play, he can. Into the penalty area, Jamie Vardy. The ball across looking for Barnes. Comes back out. Alberton comes out to Ndidi, who fires over. I must say Maddison has done really, really well today, and he's done impressively well for Leicester today, and some of the key got the goal, and I still to this moment don't know how we managed to score that from the angle where he scored it from. and Leicester are coming forward. Jose Perez inside the penalty. Jose Perez still going to Jose Perez, lost out, and Southampton will look to break here now. Armstrong gets the ball forward as Armstrong, and now Southampton will have to do some more defending as Albright comes forward. It was Jose Perez is onside. Jose Perez hits it over the bar when he should have really squared it for Jamie Vardy, and that's the chance for Leicester to steal it. He should have really set up Vardy, but the flag was up anyway, so he probably wouldn't have counted. And he was just a fraction offside, and the flag went up just as the bullet shot was. So the goal wouldn't have counted if Vardy put it in, because of Jose Perez being in an offside position when the ball came across to him. But Leicester City lead by a goal to nil. The man of the match vote is now over. James Madison is your man of the match vote for this game tonight. Leicester leading by a goal to nil with 5 minutes of stoppage time to be played, as Jamie Vardy goes off for Kelchi Iheanacho. And Vardy has done well. Leicester just trying to run down the clock now by making that substitution. I think Vardy's performance could have done with, really should have probably had a goal to merit how he's played tonight, but it wasn't to be for the Englishman. Leicester still lead by a goal to nil up against Southampton, and Southampton win a free kick. Albrighton commits the foul on Shane Long as Southampton look to try and get an equaliser at the King Power Stadium against Leicester. Ward-Prowse over this free kick. Southampton have got everybody forward, ball their goalkeeper at this moment in time, from what I can tell. All the attacking outlet inside they're off. All the outfield players inside the Leicester penalty off, and majority of them inside the penalty area, as Valerie wins a throw, which Jan Valerie will take. Back he goes toward Prowse. Down the line he goes to Kyle Walker-Peters, and his shot is blocked. It's out for a throw. Good work this from Leicester. Leicester 1, Southampton 0. Here's the scoreline. Ward-Prowse keeps the ball moving for Southampton as they look to go back into this, as Jan Valerie comes forward, wins a throw off James Justin. Played 2.5 minutes of added time now. Leicester lead by a goal to nil. What can they do with this? Southampton, if they are to get back into it, they need to score round about now if they are to get anything out of it. As Walker-Peters with the throw, flicked on there by Ludo, and Ludo's got back from Walcott, and Ludo puts the ball in. His shot, his cross is blocked by Soyuncu, and he's behind for another corner. 2 minutes of play to go. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 at the King Power Stadium. 2 minutes left to play, or just under that now. James Ward-Prowse with the corner. Everyone by the goalkeepers up there at this moment in time. The corner's headed clear to the edge of penalty area. Armstrong hits it back in, but over the bar as well. And that could be the chance for Southampton to get anything out of this game unless they get the ball back fairly quickly. Voice is going a little bit up, but hopefully you can still understand what I'm saying. As it's been a cracking game here tonight. Only thing that is missed is the atmosphere from the fans. Leicester 1, Southampton 0 is the scoreline. Brendan Rodgers trying to encourage his team down below me. We've got JB back at Craven Cottage ready to finish up the broadcast this evening in a few moments' time. Once we're over and done with here, as Barnes wins the header to Ndidi. Now Leicester get the ball forward, out of play for a throw to Southampton. And Southampton with Kyle Walker-Peters. Into Jan Bednarak. And now Stevens. And Stevens gives it back to Bednarak. And he's back to McCarthy. And if Southampton want to get anything out of this, they need to go forward and need to go forward now. Which Bertrand looks to do, but he has to go back to Jack Stevens. And Jack Stevens he's been told to fetch it forward, but he's only giving the ball away. Is Leicester. Can they break? Here is Tillemans. He's got Harvey Barnes in exit space. Harvey Barnes is through on goal. Harvey Barnes to seal it! And Harvey Barnes does seal it! Leicester City have a second! And Harvey Barnes in the 95th minute puts icing on the cake. And Leicester City say thank you very much. And they are a 2-goal lead here at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 2, Southampton 0. Fist pump with his teammates. And Leicester City all leading by 2 goals to 0. It's onside. Here's Harvey Barnes as he's played in. And Harvey Barnes finishes cool as you like. As Leicester City do finally now have a second, and game is now surely signed, sealed and delivered. James Maddison and Harvey Barnes with the goals as Leicester lead by 2 goals to 0 now. And Southampton have been a bit unlucky tonight. They've played well, had a few chances, but we're just going to tell them Leicester have punished them and shown them what you do if you take your chances. And Stuart Elwell puts whistle to the lips and brings them to this thrilling encounter at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 2, Southampton 0 is the final scoreline. James Maddison, the JB MOTM, getting the first goal of the game on 38 minutes. But I'm not sure I managed to get in from the angle. And then later on, Harvey Barnes in the 95th minute got played through, and he was one-on-one with McCarthy, and nothing in his mind other than to put the ball beyond the England stopper, from England stopper, and Harvey Barnes makes it signed, sealed and delivered in the 95th minute as Leicester City finish here at the King Power Stadium. Leicester City 2, Southampton 0. And thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the coverage tonight from myself. Great coverage from JB earlier as we head back to JB, who's going to wrap up the programme. Leicester 2, Southampton 0 at the King Power Stadium. Hopefully you can join Trevor tomorrow for Liverpool versus Manchester United. Thank you very much, guys. And JB is finished near the King Power. Leicester 2, Southampton 0.
Thanks, Russ, for your contribution tonight. Very well done to you. Nicked a few of my lines, but it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that Leicester City have got the points. It was heavy weather at the end, but they got it in the end. James Maddison and Harvey Barnes, the heroes for Leicester tonight, and I hope you've very much enjoyed our 2-bomb commentary this evening. I've absolutely had a ball. I don't know how about you guys, but we've had a ball. Earlier today we saw Chelsea sneak a late winner against Fulham. Mason Mount proving his worth in the end. And then tonight we've seen a very good performance from Leicester City beating Southampton. A bit of a depleted Southampton by 2 goals to 0. Now, finally from me, before I leave you tonight, of course, we'll have. I'm going to have an X-rated review of today's Burnley match, where I give some really harsh marks to some Burnley players, Chris Wood, Ashley Barnes, a little bit later on. That's going to be going up around about 11 o'clock. That video, and it's just going to be a normal upload from me for that. My review of today's defeat for Burnley, but a little bit of a sort of a post-mortem, if you like, and give my frank opinions on it. But that's just the starter to really what's going to be a magnificent main course tomorrow afternoon, because tomorrow joining me for commentary of the Liverpool match against Manchester United and Arsenal top of the table kickabout is going to be Trevor alongside me at Anfield. What a game that promises to be. I'll be hosting, Trevor will be producing his magnificent magical commentaries that really I absolutely love doing, love him commentating. He's a magnificent broadcaster, and we'll have him back on the air tomorrow afternoon from 4:20. But anyway, from us tonight, from myself and Russ, I hope you've enjoyed our 2-1 commentaries. Hope to join you tomorrow. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. We're coming up to we're just about around 20 odd short of 800 subscribers, and we can get up to 800 by the end of the month. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic for us. So thank you very much to everybody who's tuned in tonight. Thank you one and all, and thank you very much indeed. So thank you very much to Ross. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in, and we hope to see you all again tomorrow 4:20. Myself and Trevor are going to be taking you through it. Me as the presenter. Trevor is going to be your guide to the match, and he's going to do the match commentary for you. So give him all the best of support tomorrow if you can. Take care for now. We're going to leave you tonight. Great win for Leicester City. 2-0 winners over Southampton, and their bid for a top 4 Champions League place, or maybe even a title tilt, is starting to take shape. From myself and Russ, take care, and we'll see you all tomorrow for that big one, Liverpool against Manchester United. Hope you can join me and Trevor at 4:20. Till then, take care. Good night.